Are you ready for another Garry Kitchen's Game Maker tutorial? Well, I sure am. Today, I'm going to show you how to make your own version of the game Flappy Birds. You know that game, flap, 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 flap. I'm going to call it Flappy Charles, because I can flap. Here, hold my rope here, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Tune Tokyo.
I'm going to start out by making our first sprite. It's going to be of a guy with his arms out like he's flapping. If you've never made a sprite before, I made a video tutorial of it. I'll put a tag up in the corner. You can click on that. But this is for advanced users, so you can just kind of watch. Watch me make his little head and everything. It's going to be cool. You don't even necessarily have to make a Charles guy. You can make a bird or a bat or whatever you want. Let's go save it. Save Charles FLY for Charles Flying. Once we have our first sprite made, now we have to make a sprite of the guy when he crashes into the pole. What does he look like? Well, our Charles guy is going to be straight up and down, and he's like with his arms down, his feet forward. Your guy doesn't even have to be a Charles. It could be like a wicked witch flying on a broomstick in a forest and splats right into a tree or something. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm almost done with this guy. Just gotta get his green hair here, and after that, I'm gonna save. We're gonna call it Charles SPL for splat, because that's the sound it makes when you splat into that pipe. To make our pipe, first one you go is to command, then setup. Turn on vertical magnification and horizontal magnification. Our pipe sprite's going to contain 4 sprites, so change this number to 4. When you go to quit, it's going to have you move these squares around. We'll put sprite 1 on the top. We'll put sprite 2 right underneath it. Sprite 3 we'll take and put on the bottom. And sprite 4 we'll put right on top of sprite 3. Now it's time to make our pipes. I'm going to speed up the video real quick so you don't have to wait a whole long time. It's going to be a long video then. That green is looking good. Now that this pipe is done, I'm going to change the sprites to the next sprite and keep on going. These pipes kind of remind me of that video game Mario, those little pipes that Mario goes down. Well, that's what I'm looking for. Almost done. Now let's change it to sprite 3. This pipe is on the bottom. You know, I'm not going to call them Mario pipes. I'm going to call them doo-doo pipes. You know, for sewage and all sorts of stuff, because that's cool. Time to change the sprite 4. Now we got to make the little lip on the top, and it's going to be great. Everyone's going to think, wow, a professional made this. I got them fooled. Almost done. I just got to do the black trim around. And I think about ready to save this file. Save pipe C, which stands for center. You may not know this, but if you go to setup and then go to quit, you can move these pipes around. And with a little finagling, you can move these around. You might have to do quit setup again and get it so now that the little gap's on the top. We'll say that it's pipe H because the gap is on the top. It's high up there. After you save that, we're going to finagle them all over again and get the gap on the bottom. How do I do this? Oh, there it is. Save pipe L for low.
What we need to do now is we need music in our game. We can make our own music, or you can use music that came with the Garry Kitchen's disc. Right, Grandpa? Don't eat it! That's an antique disc! Take that disc and put it in the drive! How many times do I have to tell them, don't eat my disc? They don't make them anymore. So where was I? I've made a tutorial video in the past. I'll put a link up here at the top if you want to learn how to use the Music Maker. But for now, I'm going to use music that came on the Garry Kitchen's disc to make this video a little faster. So, let's move on here. Yeah, interesting. See these little knobs here? You put different values in each one of them, and it makes a sound. And they have all sorts of equalizer stuff. Here, let me step out of the way. Once you got your sound made, you can go over here where it says, hear sound. When you hear the sound, sounds like a crash. We want our guy to sound like he crashed. And if you want it constant, yeah, you can do the constant there. Yeah. Once you have everything the way you want it, then you go file, and save. I'm gonna call this backswisher, so don't ask me how to spell it. I also need to make another sound called drop. When your Charles guy smacks into that pipe, he's gonna whee and drop. So let's hear that sound. If you want the same sound, just copy these numbers onto your sound maker.
Once you got these files the way you want them, save them. And again, if you're not comfortable with the sound maker, I suggest that you just take these numbers and put them down in your own sound maker and then modify them, change them a little bit. Maybe you can come up with a better sound than I do. On to the next one.
And eventually, you're gonna die in the game. So we need to have a bad guy. And the bad guy's gonna say, I win, you lose. So I'm gonna make my bad guy this monster, a green ball-headed monster, and jumps out of the toilet and says, I win. Garry Kitchens comes with a scene maker. I'm gonna make a scene where it allows you to draw your picture onto the computer. And you can zoom in and all sorts of stuff. Check it out. What do you think, huh? You can zoom, you can make boxes, you can copy, you can paste. Whenever you're done with your picture, all you have to do is go File and Save. I'm going to call it Green Ball Headed, because he don't have any hair. I'm going to watch out next time I go to the bathroom. Don't want him jumping in my toilet. No siree.
We're going to start the coding off here by choosing a scene. So choose scene 1, we're going to make it scene 2. We're going to choose green ball, that's our scene. Next thing I want to do is display scene 1, not 2, 1. What I want to do next is change the background of scene 1 to, let's make it blue. And I know I don't have a score yet, but I'm going to put a clear score 1 in here because I'm going to jump back to it here later. Let's put in our first sprite. We'll choose sprite 1 is Charles Fly. After that, we have to give our sprite 1 a Y position, up and down somewhere. Otherwise, we won't see him on the board. And I think a Y position of 144 should be about in the middle. So we'll try for that. And well, I suppose you can't have a Y position without an X position. So let's find an X position up here. So we'll go Charles 1 Fly. X position will be, let's say, like 71. That sounds good. Uh-oh, I made a boo-boo in the line above. I'm going to change that dash Charles to Charles Fly. Nobody saw that. I better run it to see what it looks like. See, he's right where he's supposed to be, and there's even a score on top. Now that we have Sprite 1 taken care of, we have to set up Sprite 3, which is going to be our little pipe that goes by. So we're going to change this from Sprite 1 to Sprite 2, 3. Over here, I'm going to scroll through the sprites I saved on the disk till I get Sprite Pipe L. That was a sprite where we put the hold down low. I suppose I need an X position and a Y position for Sprite 3. I'm just going to copy here and paste it down below so I don't have to look it up above. I just put the arrow where I want it and copy, it's done. Well, I better change the values. I don't want it to be in the same spot as the Charles that's flying. We'll change this to 50. For the X position, I'm going to change mine to 175. That's just off the screen. But depending on what kind of sprite you made, yours might be in a different spot. I think I'm going to go with a run just to see how it looks. Notice you still can't see my pipes because my pipes are off the screen. So let's go and put a direction in here. Pipe 3, direction 192 left. We need a movement speed. Movement speed. Well, not that fast. 39. Let's go for a run and see what it looks like. Uh-oh. Not Charles 1 movement speed. Sprite 3. Now look at it. Here comes my pipe. I went right through it. Now let me move the screen up here, just so you can see things better. I'm going to start out here with a clear screen 1. Why? Because later on in the game, when you die, you will have to start all the way at the beginning. We haven't started that loop yet. There's many loops in this game. So this next line, we're going to start a loop by putting a number, 1001. This will start our main loop. In our main loop, we also want to set a variable. So set A equals Sprite 3's X position. So whatever Sprite 3 is, that's going to be the value for A. Get a piece of paper and write that down. You want music in your game, don't you? Song is Flying. That's my song. But you can put any song that you want. You make it with Music Maker. On the next line, we're going to specify how loud we want our song. Song volume equals 15. 15 is the loudest. You can also make it quieter if you want. You can choose to put this line in here or not, but if you don't have it in here, it's going to be full volume all the time. Now it's time for our first if command. If A, remember A was the position, the X position of the pipe sprite. If A is less than 8, then, well, the position 8 is all the way on the left side of the screen, so if it goes past the border, what are we going to do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is going to set another variable, so write this down. We're going to have set B, which is our second variable, to a random number between 0 and 3. Well, why are you going to do that? Well, we need a random number to generate random pipes. That way, not all the pipes are going to be in the same spot. Some might be high, some might be low. We're also going to take Sprite 3 in this line and move the X position all the way to 175, just beyond the border. That way, it keeps coming back at you. And I think it's good time to keep score now. Every time one of those bars gets pushed back to the end of the screen, we're going to add 10 points to the score. Add 10 to score 1. On the next line, you're going to add the end if command. The end if command tells the computer you're finished telling it what to do when the value of A is less than 8. Moving on here, if B equals 0, then remember B was that random number. It could be from 0 or it could be from 3. What are you going to do when B equals 0? I'll tell you what you do. We're going to make the Sprite 3 is going to change to pipe C, not pipe L. Since pipe C has 4 sprites in it, Garry Kitchens will automatically add them up there for you. Next, we're going to add Sprite 3's Y position of 50. And I suppose we better make the Sprite 3 go in the direction of left, 192. And this line will make the movement speed 39. And finally, and if, we're done with the commands when B equals 0. Moving on up now. So if B equals 1, then what are we going to do? Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do the same thing we did when B equals 0. So you can copy and paste this. Sprite 3 equals pipe C. Sprite 4, 5, and 6 are the same sprite. Sprite 3's Y position will be 50. Sprite 3's direction, 192 left. And the movement speed will be 39. We'll just keep it the same, but you could change the speed if you want. And if. Now to the next one. So if our variable B equals 2, then what are we going to do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to change Sprite 3 to pipe L for pipe low. That's where the holes sound low. 4, 5, and 6 will be part of the same sprite. Sprite 3 Y position will be 50. Sprite 3 direction will go 192 left, like all the other ones. Sprite 3 movement speed will be 39. And if. Now to the next one. If our variable B equals 3, then what are we going to do? We're going to make Sprite 3 pipe H for pipe high. The hole will be up high. And then 4, 5, and 6 are the same sprite, of course. But what's different is the Y position is 208, not 50. The reason for this has to do with when we made our sprite in the Sprite Maker, we moved our sprites around in different orders. That makes a difference because the first sprite is where it determines your X position and Y positions off the first sprite, even though it's a pack of 4. I hope you got that. And of course, Sprite 3 direction will be 192 left. The movement speed will be 39. And if. Now to set up the joystick controls. If button 1 is on, then what are we going to have it do? We'll make Sprite 1, which is Charles, his animation speed will be 32. That means he'll be flapping like crazy. And of course, when you're flapping your arms, your direction has to go up, so Sprite 1 direction will be up. We'll make the movement speed 18. And if. Now, if button 1 is off, not on, off, Sprite 1 animation speed, well, we'll have him flap his arm like 15 miles an hour, not 32, because you gotta flap a little bit. And then the sprite direction, it'll be down because he's not flapping enough. He's going down. Sprite movement speed will be 18. And if Sprite 1 hits Sprite 3, so if Charles hits that pipe that's coming by, oh, what's going to happen? We're going to jump to label 1002. Well, we don't have a label 1002 yet. We will here down below. And if Sprite 1 hits Sprite 4, then, well, we're also going to jump to label 1002. It sounds like an important number. And if Sprite 1 hits Sprite 5, we're also going to jump to 1002. So this must be really important. And if Sprite 1 hits Sprite 6, then jump to label 1002. Let me stop here and explain to you what's going on. The Sprite 1, that's Charles, he's made of 2 sprites, the front of him and his butt. And then the pipe is made of 4 different sprites. If I say Sprite 1 hits Sprite 3, what's happening is it's not Charles's butt, it's his head. If his head hits the part of the pipe which is Sprite 3, then it jumps to label 1002. But let's say his butt hits Sprite 3, it's not going to do it unless you tell it to. That pipe is made of 4 different sprites, so you have to tell it if it hits 1, 2, 3, or 4, which section does it hit? Then it'll go to 1002. You got that? And if. Now this next line starts our loop. Jump to label 1001. That is our first loop. There's 3 loops in this game. So this is the first loop. 1001 is way at the beginning. Let's go back down now. Now that we're at the bottom, we're outside of the loop. We're going to make a new line, but we're going to label it 1002. Sound familiar? This is where you go once you smack into that little pipe. Ooh, ow, I bet you that hurts. So when Sprite 1, the Charles guy, hits that pipe, Sprite 3, what's going to happen is the movement speed will be 0, because when you hit something going really fast, you're not going anywhere. Sprite 3, the pipe, that movement speed is going to be 0 too, because it's not going anywhere. Sprite 1, animation speed, that's going to be 0, because you're not moving. You're just dong. As a matter of fact, we're going to play a sound channel. Channel 1 is going to be BK Swish. So it's going to make a little crashing sound. Song volume is going to be 0. We're going to stop the music so they can hear that smash. And then Sprite 1 is going to be the Charles Splat Sprite. So he's going to change from flying to like a splat. That's that one we made. Sprite 2 is the second part of Sprite 1. It's his butt. We're not worried about that. And then we're going to pause for 1 second. Sprite 1 direction is going to go down. So after a second, he's just going to go straight down. The movement speed, we're going to make 35. So he's going to go down at 35 miles an hour. And we're going to play a sound channel. Sound channel 1 of drop 1. Just like that. Let me move this up a little bit. Okay, where was I? We're going to pause for 3 seconds. We're going to clear Sprite 1. We're going to clear Sprite 3. We're going to play the song called Doom. Not only are we going to play that song, we're going to play the song at volume 15, which is maxed out. We're going to display the other scene. The other scene was that scene of that green ball-headed monster. And he says, you win. Well, you can't win here because I'm going to get him next time. Oh, yeah, where was I? Okay, we're going to pause for 1.1 second, and then we're going to display the other scene. And after that, we're going to jump all the way to 1003. We got to go all the way to the top because we haven't made a label for 1003 yet. Where are we going to put it? How about the 4th one from the top where it says clear score? We'll put it right there. You ready to run it? Boy, I sure am. Oh, boy. Well, let's go down and run it then. All right, here you go, here you go. Flap my arms, flap my arms. I made the first one. 10 points. 20 points. Go low, 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 low. Oh, but this one's low too. I bet you the next one. Oh, another one's low. So much for random. Another one's low. The next one's, oh no wait, this is middle. Flap my arms, flap my arms. Down low again. They can't beat me. Oh, get this high one. Oh man! I hate that bad guy. Now that we know the game works, there's a couple things we can do. If you have a printer, you can print the code off here. Or if you would like to publish the game, choose make a disc. Now type in your name, Charles Fatt. And I'm going to call my name Flappy for Flappy Charles. Yes. You'll see on the very bottom, it says saving Flappy. It takes a while. Compiling on a Commodore 64 was never known for being fast. When this process is finished, restart your computer. From your main screen, type in LOAD, quote, star, quote, comma, 8, comma, 1. Enter. Now these old 1541 disk drives took a little while, so I'm going to fast forward just for a little bit. This program was designed by Charles Fatt using the Garry Kitchen's Game Maker, copyright 1985. Oh, I better flap. I made the first one. This time I'm going to get further. Oh man! And there he goes again.
And there you have it, peeps! Another successful Garry Kitchen's Game Maker tutorial! Now I can have my root beer! Ha ha ha! Just like Mother used to make. Hey, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up! Or better yet, leave a comment in the comment section below! Yeah, ha ha! Till next video, see you later! See you later. See you later. See you later. See you later. See you later, Peter.